So hi coders. So today we are gonna solve third problem in the top interview questions Leetcode. So this is the question. Given a string, find the length of the longest substring without repeating characters. Basically, we need to find the longest substring. Where substring is a part of a string having non-repeating characters. So their character cannot be repeated in that string. Let's understand for an example. So this is string A B C A B C B B. So this is a string. We need to find a substring. Let's take a substring A B C. So we can see that A only occurs single time, B only occurs single time, and C only occurs single time. So that can be our answer. Let's take other substring, which is A B C A B. We can see A occur two times and B occur two times also. So this cannot be our answer because there are repeating characters. So we need to find maximum length. We only need to find length, not particular substring. Okay, let's take another example. So in this string we can pick string substring like bb. So in this there's two occurrence of b, so we cannot pick. As we can see, all characters are b, so we can only pick single substring as b, which will be our answer. So the length of the substring is 1, so that we need to return. So this will be our answer for this string. Okay, let's see the approach of the solution. So what we can do is we can take two integer s and e, where s denotes starting of the substring and e denotes ending of the substring. So initially both will be pointing to index 0, s and both are pointing to index 0. So their value will be 0 and 0. So we can do is basically we need to check if from substring, let's say s and e are substring, so we need to check if the new character we are adding, if it's already present of the substring or not. If it's present, so we need to find that position. For example, that substring is present here, so we know we cannot include this character, so we need to cut our substring. So this portion will be cut off, so starting will point start from here. So this other part will be cut off, so the substring will be remaining will be this part. So and will move to that new character, so that will be our answer. So every time we iterate, we check if that the new character we are adding if it's present or not. Let's see for this substring. So the starting is pointing to 0 and ending is pointing to 0. So we check if a is present in the substring or not. Currently s and e are both pointing to 0, so it's empty. So if it's not present, we just simply move to the next element. So we will just point as increment e to 1 and go to the next element. Now we check if it's b is already in the substring or not. So s to e, we check a is not b. So yeah, so this is the new substring. We will add, simply just add it. Now the e index will increment and it will point to c, and we'll again check if c is already on the substring. We can see a and b, so it's not already on the substring, we can just simply add. Now e will point to b. Now we'll check. Now let's see b, it's already in the substring or not. So we check a, no it's not. Now b is already in the substring, so what we need to do is we need to move starting index to the b, to the previous b. So b occurs here, so we know we cannot include b, so we need to point s to its next index. So b previous was 1, so we need to point s to 1 plus 1, so that will do 2. You know we cannot include b, so we need to just cut off, so this remaining substring won't be our answer. So the remaining substring won't be our new substring. So currently our substring is cb. Now we will just continue this. So Now we have moved S to 2, and now we also move E E to 4. Now E is pointing to A. Now we check if A is already in the substring or not. So we can see CBA. No, it's not already. So we just add. We will increment E to the next index. That will be 5. Okay, now it will check if B is already present or not. So we can see the B is already present at index, which will be 2, 3, third index. So it's present as third index. So what we need to do is, we know that B cannot be included, so we will point S to its next element, which is A at index 4. So S will point to the 4 index. So remaining substring won't be considered. Now we move and also simultaneously. So it will point to 6th index. Now we will check if next element, which is C, if it's present or not. So it's not present, we can just directly add it. Now we will check if C is present or not. So you can see it's already just before. So we need to shift start pointer to its next element. So S will point to 6. That will proper iteration. So now we know how we can choose to index starting and ending index. So the question boils down to how can we find maximum length. So maximum length will be end minus start plus 1. Okay, let's see this example. So here I created a table where this is S starting index, ending index, and answer. So this will be our iteration for first iteration, 0 to 5th iteration. Initially S will point to 0 and E will point to 0. We first check if P is on the substring or not. So it's not, so we won't increment S, so it will be same, and E is currently 0, and answer will be 0 minus 0 plus 1, which will be 1. Currently it's 1. Now E will increment to 1. Now E will point to W. So now we check if W already occurs or not. So it doesn't, so start will remain same, and will be, and is currently 1, and the answer will be E minus S, which is 1 minus 0 plus 1. So basically it's 2. So we can see the length is also 2. So this basically is formula for length. Now we will move to next index. So E will be 2. Now the W already we can see W already occurs. So what we have to do is, we have to move the S when we encounter a repeating character. So S will point to W also. So S will become also 2, and now the answer will be, for this particular case, E minus, so 2 minus 2, which is 0, plus 1, so that will be 1. Because substring for this starting and ending will be a single length. Now he will move to next character, that will be 3 index. So we'll check K already occur or not. So we can see it's not there. So the starting will remain same. So previously it was 0 0, now it's 2, because there was no repeating character. Now we need to recalculate. So E minus S, 3 minus 2 plus 1. So 3 minus 2 plus 1, that will be 2. Now we move to next index. So E will now point to E, and now index will be 4. Now is E already in the string? No, it's not. So S will remain same. Now we recalculate answer. So E minus S plus, so that will be 3. So we can see that is our current substring WKE having length 3. Now we move to next index, is 5th. E will point to 5th index, Now we check w, if w is already occurred or not. So yeah, we can see that w already occurred. So what we need to do is we need to move s to its next index, s to the index of w plus 1. Now it will point to 3. Now we recalculate, so 5 minus 3, 2 plus 1, so that will be 3. So now answer will be max of all these, so that will be 3. So answer is 3. Now let's talk about this time and space complexity. So what we are doing is we are iterating every index and checking if it's in the start to the end or not. So basically it's checking in a substring. So it's basically taking O of n square, because we are checking every character and also we are iterating in our substring. So how can we improve it? So let's see how can we improve it. So we have to iterate every index at least once. So there's nothing we can do about this, but we can improve our searching. So instead of searching, we can create a map. So that map will store the index of that character. So instead of searching, we can do is we can check if that character index, for example, let's say p, so we have stored p in the index, so it will have 0 and w will have value 1. So now when we are at this position, we are just checking if w is already in the substring or not. We just check if that index, we check if w is present in the map and having index in the range starting and end. So if it's in the range, that index is in the range of the starting and ending of our substring. We can check if that index, if in the range starting and ending. So what we have to do is we have to move s to the that index plus 1. So we need to move starting to that index. So basically instead of searching, we just need to check if it's map in the map and having index in our currently starting and ending integers. So let's jump into the solution. So let's talk about the solution. So basically what we need to is a map of character which will store our index. So let's say it's map character which will store our index, and starting and ending also which will store our answer for the maximum length. Now so we will move end until it's reached to end of the string, so s dot size. Now we need to check if map dot find, so the current character as of end, so it will check if it's present in the map or not. So it will enter if it's present, if character is found in our substring. Now if it's found in the substring, we need to check that that index as of n, so it will give our index. So if this index is in the range, so if it's greater than or equal to the start and is less than, so basically less than or equal to end, so it will just enter if I is in the range of start and end. So basically it's just denote that let's say start is here and there are few, and I is also there are few elements, and there is end. So it basically denotes that I is in between start and end. And if it's there, so we need to move start to I plus 1 as discussed earlier. Now we need to update the map, so that will have s of end, that will store the index which is end. Now it will be used for searching efficiently. So now we also need to calculate our answer, so that will be max of answer. So it will just check if previously calculate answer or current calculate answer. So which one is maximum, it will return and will assign to the answer. So basically it just calculate max value throughout the iteration. Now we just need to increment end. So it basically iterate over every character. Now in the end, after this while loop, we just need to return answer. So let's check if it's running. Okay, let's try and submit it. As you can see, submitted successfully. So that's it for today, guys. So let's see in the